Young people are often regarded as a problem by society, but Barnsley Council Youth Service believes that the key to the social inclusion of young people in Barnsley can be achieved by promoting the values of citizenship. David Hudson, head of the Barnsley Youth Service, explains.
It's about young people being valued as young people and having a right to have a say in things that are going off. They will be tomorrow's generation, and it's been too long, young people have been sidelined as well. They are young people, they're more problematic than helpful, and we've taken a different view within Barnsley on a major issue around young people being involved as active citizens, about having a say in the redevelopment of the town centre, or indeed having a say in how they run their own youth club.
Barnsley Youth Service is actively improving the lives of young people in Barnsley by providing a range of services and facilities for young people to meet their needs and provide them with opportunities to participate fully in the life of their town, such as the Barnsley Youth Festival, which takes place every summer across the Barnsley Borough. The emphasis of the Youth Festival is not just on having fun, but on raising the aspirations and developing the creative skills of young people, as Jim Lunt explains.
It's in providing an opportunity which they haven't had previously. So for example here we're doing some songwriting, we're coming with sort of the latest technology. I think when the four of you came in today, you never used this software, you never had the opportunity to write a song before, and within half an hour we've got a backing track together, we've started to record some lyrics. I think it's a brilliant way to increase young people's self-esteem and also for them to meet and mingle in groups which they generally wouldn't do.
In all the activities that Barnsley Youth Service provides for young people, there is an underlying educational message.
As an art teacher, I've sort of got quite a lot of experience at working on sort of issues-based work with kids, so I sort of jumped at the chance to do it. And the idea being, I think, to sort of improve the look of this place and give the kids more of a sense of ownership of it as a base, whilst sort of hitting these curriculum areas, so there's sort of underlying messages that are going to be in the banners and in the artwork.
One of the main issues that Barnsley Youth Service is addressing is racism and the ignorance that all too often arises from a lack of understanding of other cultures. Zahir Rafiq has been working with Barnsley youth worker John Hughes to help young people overcome some of the prejudices.
They'll have an understanding and a learning about Muslim and Islamic culture, but also about being Muslim in Britain. In Barnsley, there's not a massive understanding of race awareness in many of the young people. There's a lot of ignorance, and this is a wonderful project whereby young people can learn about how other people live, and we're using Z to use his skills as a computer worker and as an artist to educate young people in that way.
In this workshop I did with the children, I want to keep that theme of combining two cultures so the children can actually redesign their English names and make it look like Arabic text. And I did that on the computer, and to educate them about Islam and also give them new skills on the computer.
Providing opportunities in Barnsley to allow young people to fulfil their potential and become full and active citizens in the life of their community lies at the heart of the Barnsley Youth Service approach to young people. Angela Kelly runs a youth and community centre in one of Barnsley's 9 youth forum areas.
One of the projects I've been involved in developing is called the Durn-based Network, and it's a partnership between ourselves, the Connection South Yorkshire and Durn High. And basically it's a locally accessible behavioural support programme for young people who are on the fringes of crime, at risk of being excluded from school, and it's offering them an alternative provision, and it's run from this building. And also there's a new environmental project starting today which is going to be involving another group of young people from Durn High working at a local primary school, and helping them to improve their area where the younger children go out to play.
Partnerships are an important aspect of Barnsley Youth Service's work. Dee Zandovich is a learning mentor working in partnership with the Barnsley Youth Service.
I work for a company called Lifetime, who are a partnership within the Connections sector, and I'm based in the Durn High School. And primarily my role is to work with young people, accessing and facilitating services available to them jointly with other service providers, and this project that we're doing at the moment is working closely with the youth service and Angela, based at Gooseacre Primary School, which is one of the Derns feeder schools.
Working with young people on environmental projects and raising awareness of environmental issues is an important aspect of Barnsley Youth Services educational programme. Fred Thompson is a youth worker in Hoyland.
One of my specialism is environmental youth work, which covers running the Green Fingers group, which is based at this school and on Tuesday afternoons, and that's aims at encouraging an environmental awareness in young people, and they take part in all kinds of practical projects, from woodland management to river watch projects, litter campaigns.
I'd help in Green Fingers because I do gardens and allotments with my dad, and I thought I'd be quite interested in this. And what I'm doing, we're doing it with cuts up, because at the beginning it didn't look very nice, and now we're doing it up, it looks better, and we couldn't move at all, and there were everything in it, like crisp packets and everything.
Barnsley Youth Service doesn't just provide youth club activities during the daytime, but in the evenings as well.
Do different projects like stuff on racism and bullying and everything, so it teaches as well.
In the same youth club, we asked 3 aspiring DJs what makes a good DJ.
Be confident in front of all the people.
And are you confident in front of all those people?
No, not yet, because I haven't been in front of all them people.
Are you? Confidence building is an important part of Barnsley Youth Services work, as well as seeking imaginative ways to confront the educational and social problems facing Barnsley's young people today, including using graffiti art.
We're going to get the young people and we're going to, sit them down with a bit of paper and stuff and pens and get them to come up with some designs around like issues and stuff that we've got around this local area, and then we're going to try and guide them to creating a piece which is actually paintable on the wall, that's going to be quite easy for them to do and that's going to look really effective as well. And then hopefully we're going to teach them the ways of painting, like how to hold your cans, what nozzles and what not to do, and then through a bit of like guided teaching and stuff, they hopefully do it all themselves.
Themes are like racism, anti-drugs themes, and just a lot of issues that are around this area sort of thing.
Yeah, crime reduction and...
We'll not say it to them as such. Aim is to sort of get us work to sort of speak to them, without sort of telling them that drugs are bad and,
Whilst many of the educational activities take place in youth centres, detached youth work is currently targeting hard-to-reach young people.
At the moment we've been doing a drugs and alcohol project in this building, which has involved some styrofoam work and mainly a lot of graffiti work and artwork. We're learning about the different uses of drugs and the different types of drugs, which sort of people take them, and we're doing this project to make us self-aware of the different issues about drugs and alcohol.
Cassie attends the same youth project as Matthew, and she too has been working on a creative project related to drugs and alcohol awareness.
We're all designing like what to do about drugs and alcohol, drawing it on big pieces of paper and stuff. And we decided to do this because we're all coming up with ideas.
Detached youth work also involves learning practical skills as well as creative ones, all of which aim to carry an educational message. Alan Hodgson, a Barnsley detached youth worker, explains.
Today we're at Pilly Park as part of the Get Set project with Folsom School in Darfield, Barnsley. And we're doing quite a few environmental sort of tasks, such as dry stone walling and coppicing. The dry stone walling, we're working with Ken France from the Dry Stone Walling Association. These young people on our Get Set programme are working towards their ASDAN award in school, which is split up into bronze, silver and gold, and each young person has a different target. Some of the young people here are working on their gold award, and some have got working on the bronze award, but they've all got their own different needs and different targets throughout the award.
Denise Lelliot has been working with Alan Hodgson and the group of school children on the same project.
We've been working on the storyboard This is part of a 3-week project where we're developing skills, interpersonal skills, team building skills. And it's not just about taking young people out and building that wall, they also have to learn why we have them, where they have them, and what sort of materials to use. And the storyboard actually backs up everything that they've learned, so they've not just learned skills as in hands-on, they've learned a skill. And it's actually the process of doing it as well, so to a point that they can write it down.
Ken France is president of the Dry Stone Walling Association of Great Britain. Ken has spent a lot of time working with young people who he believes acquire a variety of skills and knowledge by learning the art of dry stone walling.
I think it's very good character building in as much that sorting the stone and everything like that is not, there's a lot of maths and a lot of everything involved in it. Problem solving, what they do in schools, well, problem solving is basically every stone that you pick up.
Kevin Holden is one of the school children working with Ken France. We asked Kevin what the most difficult thing is about dry stone walling.
Choosing stones that are correct, because we don't get ready till it's all collapse.
And do you think you did a good job?
Yeah.
So you're happy with your work?
Yeah.
So if you see a dry stone wall that's in a state of disrepair, you know how to fix it?
Yeah, definitely.
Another aspect of Barnsley Youth Services work is a government-funded initiative called the Millennium Volunteers Project, which was set up 3 years ago to establish volunteering opportunities for young people. In return, the volunteers learn useful new skills, which they can use in their working lives. Debbie Riggott runs the Barnsley Millennium Volunteers Project in Barnsley, and she explains the benefits that young people can gain from the project.
We offer volunteer opportunities for young people aged 16 to 24. We look at what their hobbies are, their interests and aspirations, and we try and match some kind of volunteering opportunity to those interests, hobbies and aspirations. So they're getting the good quality volunteering to help them gain skills, enhance existing skills, meet new people, find something to do, sometimes relieve boredom, or often just so that they can find where they want to go in life. There's a lot of opportunities out there. Not every young person knows about the opportunities. So through Millennium Volunteers we can open up the world of work and training and employment and education. And we offer 2 types of volunteering opportunity in Barnsley. One is organisation-based volunteering, and basically that is where we've got 180 organisations in Barnsley that actually work alongside us, that offer opportunities for volunteers. Those could be schools, community groups, elderly people's homes, offices that will offer admin experience. So the volunteer can get a different number of experiences. The other type of opportunity we offer is what we call project-based or peer-led volunteering, whereas if a young person's got a specific idea about something that they'd like to do but the opportunity's not out there, then it's our job, using our skills and knowledge and the networking systems that we've got in place, to try and create some kind of opportunity.
One of the current volunteers is Sam Kirk, who explains what she has gained from working with the Millennium Volunteers.
I've been a Millennium Volunteer since end of May, beginning of June. I've done 50 hours already. And what that is, you do 50 hours, then you do 100, then 150, and then you do your Excellence Award, which is 200 hours, and you get certificates for each 50 that you do. And then for your 200 hours, you get the certificate signed by government, which looks good in your CV and in your record of achievement. I'm involved in quite a few things at Millennium Volunteers, although they're trying to find me a placement to do a drama. I'm in Drama Club here doing a Christmas production, and I'm also in Choices, the Youth Forum. It's where we help the youth workers build on projects and help organise celebrations.
Involving young people in a variety of social and educational activities is a significant part of Barnsley Youth Services work, but providing advice and information for young people on social, educational and career matters is an equally important part of their work. Working in partnership with a government agency called Connections, Elaine Finney is responsible for providing a youth information service in Barnsley.
There are 4 personal advisors within Barnsley Youth Service who focus on work with 16 to 19-year-olds, and we focus on young people who are maybe having difficulties in getting into education, employment and training and want more support in doing that. Barnsley Youth Service is one of a number of agencies that delivers connection service in Barnsley for 13 to 19-year-olds. We focus on 16 to 19 year olds, but we also work with our colleagues in other agencies to deliver services to 13 to 16 year olds. Connections Press Advisors can offer young people a range of services, including information, advice and support, and access to specialist services such as drug and alcohol services.
Crime prevention and reduction is another important part of Barnsley Youth Services work. Linda Lavelle, a youth development worker at Worsborough Community Centre, explains how Barnsley Youth Service is addressing the problem of youth offending.
I work with young people who might be offenders or at risk of offending or being involved in antisocial behaviour or youth nuisance. All young people that come to our programmes are referred to us directly. So they might be referred by a youth offending team or education welfare service, learning mentors, connections, personal advisors. And they're all referred for the specific purpose of addressing the young people's needs in relation to their offending behaviour.
Many of the young people involved in crime or on the fringes of crime are very vulnerable and need a lot of support.
We run a number of different programmes at the moment. One is for young people who are repeat offenders. Another one is for young women, specifically young women who are vulnerable or on the periphery of crime. We run 2 education groups, one which is based in Worsborough and one which is based out at the Dearn. They're exactly the same programme, and what these focus on are young people's educational needs. These are young people who are excluded from school or they've got very poor attendance at school. They come to us for one day a week, and that fits into their education plan. So they might attend school on a partial timetable and come to us for one day a week. Another programme that we run is called the Referral Order Group, and that is for young people who are appearing first time in court. So all the programmes are either focused on young people because they are offending, or they're very much at risk of offending because of the situation within which they are living their lives.
One of the most innovative aspects of Barnsley Youth Services work is to involve all young people in Barnsley in decision making about the future development of the town. Andy Fleming leads a team of youth forum workers called Voice and Influence, which has been established to encourage young people to get involved in the political decision making in the town.
We go out and we engage as many young people as possible in their local communities. Barnsley is divided into 9 area forum areas, and I have a member of staff, a youth forum support worker who works in one of them areas. Their role is to meet up with young people, identify the issues, and then they set up meetings, what we call speak outs. And at these speak outs, the issues that the young people wanted to address are put on the agenda. The decision makers whose responsibility is actually to oversee them issues is invited along. Discussions take place and action points are developed.
Barnsley Youth Service has taken the involvement of young people in the life of Barnsley a stage further by introducing elections for young people across Barnsley's 9 youth forum areas. Andy Fleming explains.
So what we actually did last year, we held some local elections where we sent every young person 13 to 19 years of age in the borough a polling card. There was 2 seats per area forum area for youth councillors. We had somewhere in the region of 52 young people standing for election, and at the election we had 45 polling stations, and we ended up with a turnout of 32%, 12% higher than the local elections in May, who actually voted in Barnsley's first democratically elected youth council.
The youth council has 18 elected members who meet once every 3 weeks. Claire Archer explains what sort of issues the Youth Council discusses at one of their meetings.
We're here tonight to have a Youth Council meeting. Basically they'll be discussing lots of business on the agenda. We've also got somebody from planning to come and have a meeting with them about passport to leisure. And on Thursday, the 4th of December, we've got a minister coming called Nick Rainsford. He's the Minister for Local Government, asking their views on regional assemblies. So that's just a snippet of what the Youth Council do.
Barnsley Youth Service is assisting young people across Barnsley in a variety of ways, but this can only be achieved by ensuring that the people who work for the Barnsley Youth Service are well trained in order to respond to the complex needs of young people. Youth worker training is an important part of the development of Barnsley Youth Service. Steve Smith is responsible for training Barnsley youth workers.
My main sort of task really in the role is to organise part-time staff training and that is devised as a result of part-time staff saying on their action plans what training they need. Obviously we have a core element of training which we call directed training, which is things like child protection, things like activity guidelines, risk assessments, the sorts of things that you would do when you're taking young people out on residential weekends or on the Duke of Edinburgh's award. We also try to make sure that staff undertake training on a regular basis to update their knowledge, and also to make sure that we carry out our responsibilities as youth workers of the local authority. And also we have sort of developmental training where individual staff members that might have a particular interest or a skill that they want to develop, like canoeing or hill walking or climbing, those sorts of activities. We can facilitate that on a sort of individual basis. What we want to be is an ever-improving service. So our staff develop, and as a result young people are actually developing along with them.
What you've just seen is a very speedy whistle-stop tour through some of the provision that we have in Barnsley Youth Service. We're very proud of the work that we do. Our staff believe wholeheartedly that we should put young people first. They must always be at the core of what we do. They feel quite passionately about that. Young people's needs are changing constantly. The world around them is changing constantly, and we need to make sure here in Barnsley that we keep up with that constant change, and we can only do that by working with young people and for young people.